In the beginning of the pandemic, Hazleton was one of the hardest hit cities. Now hospital officials there are saying it is close to passing the numbers it did before. Newswatch 16's Chelsea Strube has more on what's taking place inside the hospitals within the Lehigh Valley Health System.
Officials with Lehigh Valley Health in Hazleton held a virtual news conference to discuss problems they are currently seeing at the hospital. The first being a limited number of staff.
The staffing shortage is a result of people retiring, people being burnt out and leaving the healthcare workforce or moving to other positions.
Chief Medical Officer Anthony Valent argues some of that burnout is from an influx of unvaccinated COVID patients infected with the Omicron variant.
And more importantly, we are literally breaking the backs of the very people that 2 years ago we referred to as heroes. These healthcare workers are literally being worn into the ground with a tsunami of unvaccinated COVID patients. So I implore everybody to encourage everybody you know to get vaccinated.
Currently, officials say 79% of the people in the hospital with COVID are unvaccinated, and 90% of all COVID cases, whether those infected are vaccinated or not, is the Omicron variant. It's a similar situation in all Lehigh Valley Health Network hospitals.
With these breakthrough infections, I think there's a group of people or some people that think that it means that the vaccine is less effective. That is definitely not the case. It might be true that with Omicron, we are seeing more breakthrough infections than we saw with other variants, but the vaccine is still very effective at keeping people out of the hospital.
Lastly, officials say the testing labs are being overrun. They advise people to stay home if they have mild symptoms and are not in need of immediate attention.
If you have symptoms of COVID or of flu-like symptoms and you take a home test that turns out positive, believe it, it's true. They're very sensitive in that situation. You do not need to rush out to confirm it with a PCR test in a clinic.
If you have any questions about your symptoms, LVHN says it has many resources online for you, and that is a good place to start before rushing out to a doctor's office or emergency room. You can find a link to that website on WNEP.com. Chelsea Strube, Newswatch 16, Hazleton.